Hey everybody, so today I'm going to be teaching you Roblox Lua or coding in a short amount of time. So if you ever wanted to code but you don't really want to take like 5 hours to learn, I'm just going to give you the basics in a few minutes. We got printing. Alright, so first I'm just going to go into studio settings. I'm going to go to script editor and I'm going to make it so that this is default. Alright, so now it's the regular. So basically, Roblox is in Lua, and Roblox Lua, or Luau, Luau, and yeah, so in order to print, which printing is just saying like a text in the output, like I printed earlier hello, you just gotta press print and then anything you want, like hello and welcome to my video. Alright, so you can write anything in there, and you would know that you're doing it right because it lights up, and in case you want the output, you just go to view and then you can copy whatever I have, except command bar, you need that. Anyway, so you can run the game, and as soon as you run it, you should get hello and welcome to my video, subscribe, which you totally should do. Alright, so that's printing, and you can do many things with printing, but another thing you can do with printing is variables. Now variables are just pieces of code where you can store information. So in order to call variable or define one, you have to do local, and local should light up red if you're using dark mode, and I don't use light mode, so I don't know what color it would be. Point is, just get a color. Alright, so you can name your variable anything. You can even name it bad words, but I will not do it. For example, I will do it parts, or actually, let's name X. So look, X equals one of the last letters of the alphabet. Oh my gosh. Alright, so if we run this, nothing will happen in the output because all we did was first we have to define because it won't do anything because we only defined the variable. So what we got to do is we got to print the variable or call the variable. So in order to do that, you just do print like regular times, but instead of doing quotes, we just write X. Now we are not using quotes because quotes is a string, and a string is just a text, a piece of text, a sentence. And X is a sentence, but in itself it's a letter, or it's something that is not a sentence. So we won't put quotes. Now we run, and you see we will do one of the letters of the alphabet because X, we assigned it to one of the letters of the alphabet, and since we're printing X, we're printing, one of the letters of the alphabet. So that's all fine and dandy. Variables are cool. Next, functions. Now functions are pretty cool. You can just write any function. For example, function numbers, and then you can pass through the function with parameters. Now parameters is things in these little parentheses, and they basically are a variable specific to that function and will not apply to any other code but this function. So we can do like num1 and then num2, and so now we have two variables for this function, num1 and num2. So we don't know what num1 and num2 is, so first we can say num1 equals 10 and num2 equals 5. Then we can do print num1 plus num2. So what will happen is we first created parameters, aka variables for the function. We define the function, and then we define the variable for the function, and then which is 5 and 10, and then we added it. So if this is confusing, then don't worry about it. All you need to know is that num1 equals 10, num2 equals 5, and you can send these numbers to anything, and yeah, so that is it. So once you run it, it should print 15. Oh, this actually brings it up. So actually it doesn't print 15. That's why, because we only define the function. Just like variables, we have to call the function or at least like print it in some way. And since we didn't do that, nothing would put in the output. So what we have to do is we just have to call numbers. We don't have to say anything, no printing, no nothing, just numbers. And we also have to do that. So once we do numbers and that, once we run, it should count 15, and that is it. So we can do if statements. Now if statements basically say if something is true or something is false, then do this. So here's an example. If 10 equals 10, also you have to use 2 equal signs, because 1 equal sign is basically defining something, and then 2 equal sign is saying like if, or like you're not defining it, you're saying like if it is like that. You can't, so like you have less power basically. So if 10 equals 10, then we have that, and then it should autofill as the end, and then we can do anything. We can do print hello. So what will happen here, it should print hello, and the reason for this is because 10 does equal 10. It says right here. So basically that it's just if statements. I mean, Lua is pretty readable. It's kind of like human language, like if, then, end, print. You know, it's usually readable. It's not like C++, for example, we would have std, C out, C in. Like, nobody would know that if you never had C++. So, yeah, so it's very readable. So you can obviously get more complicated. You can say, like, local variable equals printing. Then you can say if variable equals printing, then print variable. Well, I just screwed up my spelling. Print variable. So now it should print variable. And see, variable is printing, so it printed printing. Now what if something isn't false? What if we did printings? It should not print it. So if we print it, it shouldn't print anything, because variables doesn't mean printings, it means printing. So yeah, that's if statements. And now we can get into for loops. For loops basically loop, well, we basically loop a variable, like you'll see. Alright, so for I 1, 10, 1, do, whoa, I don't know if you saw that, but it was like a red line, never happened before. Also, you have to do equals. So basically it's hard to explain, but the I is just a variable. You can think of for as local almost. So I equals 1, and then 1 is gonna get added to the last number, which in this case is 1. So every time we loop, we're gonna add 1. Then as soon as we if we keep on adding 1, we're gonna get 10, which is our middle number. This is our goal. So I'm just gonna write it out in a thing. So first we can say, oh, by the way, 2 things like this. No, it's like that, yeah. Then we can do I. Then we have our goal. Then we have add. So basically, 1 is I, like I equals 1. Then we're gonna add 1 every time, and then our 10 is our goal to loop to. So so we can keep track, we can do I, print I, and I we defined over there. We can run, and then it should print 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, and it stopped at 10 because our goal was 10, and since it was reached, it stopped looping. So we can put a wait, and basically wait just makes it so it's not instant. Like as you can see, it did it instantly. You couldn't even see the sequence. But if you put a wait, it'll still do it fast, but fast, like not as fast. So you can see we kind of saw like the numbers add up there. I don't know if you did, but you can rewind the video. So yeah, that's for. So that's for. We can do if statements with for functions, but that's also complicated. and I'll lengthen the video. So let's just go into while loops. While loops basically go on and loop until a condition is broken. For example, we can do while 100 equals 100, then, and then, oh no, not then, do. So basically, it's basically saying while 100 equals, while 100 equals 100, then we're gonna loop. Alright, so think of while loops as an if statement and a for loop as like a variable loop. They're using variables. So that's easier to explain it. So we can do while 100, and then we can print Yoda le hihu. That's not how you spell it. You know, I think a joke would have been better if I knew how to spell it. Let's just search up Yoda, like Baby Yoda. Baby Yoda. There we go. So now we can run, and it will print Baby Yoda so fast it might crash. Yeah, I thought so. Do not do that. Problem solved. Alright, so always put a wait. I was learning my lesson. I usually put waits, and now that I didn't, this one video, didn't go well. So if we put a wait, now it will not crash, and it will actually print it. So since it's not going to print Baby Yoda every single new line, it's just going to print times and then the amount it printed, because that's more efficient, and you'll be able to see it better instead of just a long list of names. So you printed Baby Yoda 541 times, and then we can, so that's a while loop. Also, a fun tip, while true do. Basically, while true do just makes it print forever. So yeah, so you can use that to whatever you want. And okay, so now we're gonna go into the value types. So there's 3 types. Obviously, we have a string. We have a string. We have a bool, or a boolean. A boolean is a true or false value. So a boolean is usually yellow, and it would describe if it is true or false. So we have a string or a boolean. These are the main ones you need to know. And we also have a function. So we have main, boolean, function, and yeah. So a function is basically anything with a print. With anything with a parentheses. So print is a function. It's a function that is already built in, and basically print makes it so that you can print anything into the output. So that's a function, and it just has anything with parentheses. A boolean, we're gonna have to use it like a boolean just says true or false. So we can do local x equals true. This is very weird. And then we can do if x equals true, then we can print yay. So we made it equal true, and it prints yay. So x equals true. So, here's an example. So first we can do local x equals 5. So then we can do if x equals 7, then end. We can do print it equals 7. Now here's the cool. Now we're gonna put another thing. It's called else. Now an else statement basically means if it doesn't equal it. So if is saying if it equals, and else saying if it does not equal it. And you have to put it with an if statement. You can't just do else alone like this. It wouldn't work like that. It will give you an error. You see the red line? So you have to put it with an if statement. Then you could do else equals. So once we do this, and then we can also do print. We can also do print true. Also, you can only put like single quotes, but single quotes is not recommended, because if you do like don't like this, it has a single quote in it, and that will mess everything up. So usually do like double quotes like that, but you can always do single quotes if you want. So uprint equals true. So that's pretty cool. Add some true and false. Couldn't really think of anything to use it for, but we'll probably use it more as I go on. And then we have a string. A string is just a sentence or with text. All right. So print, and then you can put a string, which a string means just text. 77, 787, and that's a string. 787. It's just text. All right. So a string is not too simple. I mean, pretty simple. So then we have data values. Now we can also go on with Elseif. So Elseif is used with if statements. You can do if 100 equals 100. Ooh, no, we have to make it false. So if 100 equals 50, then we can do print hey. So now we're gonna do that, and then we can do else, because it doesn't equal 50. 100 doesn't equal 50, so we wanted to print something else. All right, else. We can do print hey. Hey with a period. It doesn't. All right. So, or if we do in the middle of if and else, we can do Elseif. Elseif. I'm sorry about that. I'm thinking of Elseif because of Python. I've been coding in different languages. Sorry about that. So, Elseif, basically means, so here let me start with the beginning. If 100 equals 50, then we're going to print a, hey. But 100 doesn't equal 50. So, else, or if it doesn't, then we're going to print hey, it doesn't. Elseif is saying, hey, if it doesn't, but it equals this also, then do it. So for example, we can do 100 equals 100. So this is like a secondary if statement if the other one is not true. So we can do print hello, and it should print hello because 100 equals 100, and it's saying if it equals 100, then print hello. It's like a secondary if statement. So that's else if. Now we have properties. Now properties are basically things that you can access within the workspace. And here, let me show you a property. So let me get a view. We're gonna get the Explorer in here. So we're gonna get workspace, and we're gonna add something, and we're gonna press part. So now once you add that, we have a part, and the part is a part. So in the part we have the properties or the appearance, and basically it's anything with this. So we can make it green, and we can make the size bigger. We can make it anchored, which basically means gravity applied, vice versa. But what if we want to change this in a script instead of manually doing it? We can. So first, we have to get the part in a variable, because a variable stores information, and the part is in workspace. It's not even in server script service, which is what your script should be in. So we have to get the part first. So we have to do local part equals game.workspace.part. Now, this might be confusing. It's just like a pathway, basically. If you know pathways, like C, users, it's kind of like that. First, it's going into the game, which is like Roblox Studio. Then it's going into the workspace, and it's finding the part. So it's basically just kind of like a pathway. Think of it like that. And it's a parent. And a parent just means it holds it. So the workspace is a parent to the part because it holds the part within it. So that's basically what a parent is. And a child is the thing that is being held. Alright, so now we can change it. So we can do part.anchored, alright? And here's where the booleans come from. Part equals true. So now we're using booleans, true and false. So basically when we use part.anchored, we're basically saying that it is going to be anchored. It's not checked here, but as soon as we run the script, it's gonna change, and it's gonna make it anchored. Alright, so if we run this, we check the checkbox, it's anchored now. We never changed that. It was in the script. So, just so we can show that it is anchored, we can move this up and we run it, and it doesn't fall down. So, let's actually turn this false. Let's turn this false, and then we're going to make this true, so it's better to explain. And then we can also do like a wait, and this is basically just going to make it so that it waits, so that it doesn't do it instantly, and we can actually see the change. So first it does it, it's in the air, we turn it false, and it should go down. But yeah, right there, boom. So that's pretty cool, right? So you can change it in the thing. You can also do brick color, and brick color is a bit harder to do, but once you know it, it's pretty easy. So you have to do part.brickcolor, and instead of doing like part.brickcolor equals and then like, I don't know, like a string, you have to do part.brickcolor equals brickcolor.new, and then you have to do parentheses and a quote, and then you can put any color. Like this is every color in the book, alright? You can put gold, you can put alder, like you can even put baby blue, alright? There's any color you can imagine. Except like, I don't know, like cerulean. I don't know, I really like that color. So you can do baby blue. And now, so the part is lime green, and out of nowhere it will just turn baby blue, alright? So look at that, now it is baby blue. It's hard to see because of the sky, but it's not lime green. At least you can see that it's not lime green. See that? Also, the brick color is baby blue. So that's that. Alright, we got attributes, we got properties, we got everything. Let's go to instances. So instances, they just create another thing. So first we have to, so instances is pretty easy, but we have to put them into a variable first. So we can do local part equals, and instead of getting the part from the workspace that we already created, why don't we just create it ourselves in the script? Why not? So we can do part equals instance.new, and then we can put we do quotes, and then we can put anything, alright? And we're gonna make a part, alright, because that's what we want to make. Or you can make like a sphere, so we can just be like actually a triangle. Apparently you can. I don't know what's going on here. Cone. Alright, we're just gonna stick to part, people. That's really funny. Alright. Oh, we can do a few things. Alright, so we can do part. So now we have just created a part, but if we run it, the part isn't in workspace. It's nowhere to be found because the part is in the game. We have not set the part to anything. We don't know the parent. We don't know its color. We don't know its attributes. We don't know anything about this part. So let's set some things. We're making like a brand new baby, alright? Or child. So let's make some things. So like part.brickcolor. Obviously, we're gonna make it baby blue because it's a baby, guys. We gotta make it live up to its name. Alright, so we do baby blue. So now we're gonna do, I don't know why it's giving me the error. Oh, I didn't put the equal sign. Bad mistake. Alright, so we have that, and then we can also do part.parent. Now part.parent is like the most important thing, because if part.parent, now we know where it's going to go, and it's not just going to be in the memory, it's going to be nowhere. So we're doing part.parent equals workspace, and workspace, it has a variant, it has like lowercase workspace. This just makes it go straight to the workspace, but you can also do like game.workspace with a capital, but most people do just workspace because that's easier. So now if we run it, we now know where the part is, and now it's here. So it's probably on the spawn, and it is, so we can see it with all its beauty, baby blue, as we said it, and boom, we just created a part in the workspace. So obviously, we gotta make it in a different place, because we don't want it spawning in the spawn points. Let's do Cframe and position. Now Cframe and position is pretty easy. Actually, it's not, but let's still do it regardless. So first we gotta get the part. Local part equals game. We did not create a part. Let's create a part, guys. All right, so we can do local part equals game dot workspace dot parts. All right, I just like brain farted for a second. So local part equals game dot workspace dot part. Once we do this, we can now that we got the part, we can now set it to a position. Now position in Cframe, basically set it to anywhere ever. So if you want to get more, you have to go into it should be down here. Here we go, transform. We got the position. Now it only shows position, not Cframe, because Cframe is like script exclusive. I don't know why. More love to Cframe. Alright, so we got the position. We want to control C that. We're going to copy paste. Alright, so now that we got the position, we can set it to difference. Alright, so what we can do is we can do part.cframe equals cframe.new, and then whatever we put in here is the new Cframe for it, or new position. Now if we put its coordinates like that, it won't do anything. That's already where it's set. So why don't we move it to it so it's not there? So we can do that. Boom, move it over there. Keep your eye on the thing. Alright, we didn't put a wait. So now it's less, so now we know what's gonna happen, so it's less suspenseful, but regardless, we're gonna keep on going. Power through, people. Alright, so we're gonna go. It's gonna go here. Oh, now it's here. That's Cframe for you. And now we can also do position. So position is basically like the same thing. You can do part.position equals vector3.new, and then we put the position. Now vector3, don't ask me what it is. All right, just know that vector3 is used with part.position. So we put the equal sign. Don't know why I keep forgetting it. Now we can do part.position equals vector3.new, and now we put the coordinates. So let's do the same thing from before. We're gonna move it somewhere else, and then we're gonna put it right there. So let's just do the same exact thing, and boom, now it's there. So that's Cframe and position. You use it for different things. All right. So what if we want to get complicated? We can do like local part equals we can do instance.new. You can do a part, and I'm gonna go a bit fast. Feel free to slow down the video, pause it, do whatever you need. All right, we're learning Lua, we're learning coding, new concepts, new everything. Just be with me. I'm sorry, I want to type fast. All right, so local part equals instance.new part. Now we're gonna do part.parent equals the workspace, and now we're also gonna do so we know that we're gonna do part.name. And basically part.name is just going to name it in this workspace. So instead of it being part, it's going to be whatever we put. And it's going to be string because it's text. We're going to name it, this is my part, with no spaces. You can do spaces. I just don't want to. I don't know why. Actually, I probably should do spaces. I don't know why I didn't do it. Alright, so part.name equals this is my part. And once we do this, we can now set its position to whatever we want. So obviously it's going to be near the spawn point, but we don't want that. We want it to be somewhere else. So we set the thing around there. Also, let me get rid of that. So we're going to do part.cframe equals cframe.new. Put the position in. So now a new part is going to be born. Alright, but it's there. Alright, so what we're actually gonna do is we're gonna put we're gonna do a wait here, a wait like I don't know, 3, so we can see. So the new part is created, it's born right there. Now we're gonna move it away from the thing. Alright, so that's basically what happens. And you can do the same thing with position. Part.position equals vector3.new. And then we can do the same exact thing. I don't know, they're basically the same thing. I don't know why would you use it for different things. I don't know. Oh, ouch, man. Ouch. Alright, let's hope this doesn't continue. Alright, I know how to fix this, but give me once we got it to work, but it's just gonna happen every time. Can't stop it. So when we do run, it's gonna ask for debugging, where we can just press resume, and see it's gonna do the exact same thing, and it's gonna move. All right, so that's Cframe and position. Now we're gonna do leader stats. So leader stats basically appear in the corner, and they show you the leaderboards. So what we gotta do for that is we gotta do game.players.player added :connect function. Alright, so this is a lot to handle at first, alright? This looks nothing to me, but this is probably looks like 1,000 pieces of code for you. Not bragging, but I'm just saying. Alright, so not to offend anybody. So game.players, this is basically a sequence, I told you. So game.players, so now we're going into the players of the game. So this is the players, and then we're going to do a remote event, which is called player added. Now a remote event just makes something happen. Imagine your TV remote. Every button is a remote event. It makes something happen. So the remote event we're going to use is player added, alright? And then we're going to connect to the server, and we're going to turn it into a function, alright? So :connect, you don't even need to know what this is or what it means or what type it is. Just know that you have to do this because we don't want to complicate here, alright? Next you want to do leader stats, alright, equals instance.new leader stats. Oh, no, folder. Sorry about that. And then we're going to do, I don't know why it's giving me an error, or of course I view as a local. Alright, so now we're going to do leaderstats.name equals leaderstats. Now I want to make this clear. Always do the lowercase, alright? If you do this entire script will not work, and you'll like cry for hours. I'm joking. But yeah. Kinda corner. Lol. I don't know why I said that. That's weird. Anyways, leader stats on name equals leader stats. So now we have to do the parent leader stats dot. Ooh, we have to put the player. So basically, the player is just a variable for every player that is added. So it's connected to this. That's why you gotta connect with the function, and then we're gonna play. All right. So leader stats dot parent equals player. So that's basically gonna mean, so let me break this down. So we're gonna create a thing called a leader stats, and it's gonna be a folder, and then it's gonna be named leader stats, and it's gonna be on player. So every time we join or a new player joins, there's gonna be a folder called leader stats, and it's gonna be on the player. Alright, so now we got the leader stats. Now we're just gonna get the currency, alright? So we can do like coins, for example. If we're making like a money making game, we can do local coins equals instance.new int value. So basically an int value just describes a whole number, and since coins is gonna be described as a number in the leaderboards, we gotta make it an int value. So now we can describe the coin. We can do coins.name equals whatever you want, alright? Whatever you put here, whatever will be put in the game, alright? So you can name coins like coconut, and then we can put the name to coins, and it'll appear as coins. But the name means everything, alright? With the name, the local, like the variable you name it, means nothing. Nobody will see that but you or your co-creators or that stuff. So now we do coins.parent equals leader stats. So it's going to create a folder, and in that folder we're going to have coins. And then coins.value equals 0, because we don't want the player to be overpowered at the start. We don't want them to have like a 5 million coins. They just join people. They're a noob. Alright, so we're going to make them coins.value equals 0. And now if we run, alright, this is actually not going to work if we play run. You have to do play, alright? So once you play, yes, boom. People, the name, Des Empress, this is my alt, don't ask. Then we got coins, 0. So boom, we just do leader stats. You can make the coins to 5, and then you can do like while true do, and then we can do like coins.value equals coins.value plus 1. Also, I got this coin.value video from CodeBro. 29. So I can't even shut them out because I'm way smaller than them, but just give credit to them, alright? If you're watching this video and you're not subscribed to them, subscribe to them. You don't even have to subscribe to me. Alright, so we're gonna take an abnormally long time to wait for the game, and as soon as that happens, it's going to, yeah, I forgot to wait. Make sure to wait, people. Alright, this is the third time this happened. Alright, just wait, alright? Wait, don't give them infinite coins. This will make the game break, alright? So now they're getting a lot of coins from the start, but who knows, maybe you make your, like, the stuff that you put in the game for, like, 1,000, I don't know, something that's reasonable to this. Alright, so that's leader stats. Now, I'm going to make a part 2, because, as I said, I want to make this, like, short as possible, and I want this to be, like, 5 hours long, because I feel like that's too bulky for beginners. So yeah, so I hope you enjoyed this video. Probably not going to get like any views, but if it does, I enjoyed you. Thank you for mistaking. I'm going to make chapters and everything, so it's more easy to read. I love you. Don't eat arachnids, and hi arachnids, forgot to say. Hello my fellow arachnids. And now, bye arachnids, don't eat arachnids. Yes. Alright, that's also cannibalism.